Curiosity. Curiosity is easy because it's natural. We're all naturally curious. When you talk to your friends, you're doing it from the point of view of curiosity, right? So you already know how to be curious. The problem with your curiosity is that it's usually motivated with the end goal. So we tend to be curious with our friends, like, oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, well, what happened? That's curiosity. But if our goal with what happened is, okay, but are you okay now? And is there anything I can do? Then we already know what the point of asking the question is. That's not hypnotic. Hypnotic is an open-ended space where we don't know what the client or the friend is going to say back. So, very first important point is do not try to create some result. Do not have an expectation of what the person is going to say back. Oh, you're making me feel uncomfortable by never calling me when you're late. If you're expecting them to say back to you, oh, I'm so sorry, I will call you next time I'm late, that's not hypnosis. That's just regular conversation between lovers. If you say to them, how does it feel when I get upset when you're late? Then you're asking them an actual question that you're waiting for an answer. Or any kind of non-results based question is curious. You can't be predicting the answer. You can't be expecting what they're going to be like. This is why it's tough with your kids and your family, because we inherently know that they're going to react a certain way because we've lived with them. So it's tricky when it becomes personal. But this is the point of becoming aware of this. You cannot predict. You cannot pre-plan or strategize what you're going to get out of it. You can't script it. All you can do is place attention where the question exists. Just place attention on it. That's it. So why did you leave the dishes out? And what are you hoping to achieve from that? Just looking at the situation. Do you like it when the mess is out here? How does it make you feel? It's not saying, hey, I want you to clean it up. It's just saying, like, well, what's going on? Then the kid or the person you're asking starts to think in their own head with their own subconscious mind. Oh yeah, I also don't like it when it's messy out here. Or I don't care. So that gives you insight into how they think. Either way, it's moving towards subconsciousness. Maintain that attention and keep investigating based on what they said. Whatever they said, you want to ask the next question that you're curious about. Not what you want them to say, not the goal that you have in mind, but just curious, whatever it is you want to know. What do you really want to know is the question. This is where hypnosis becomes interesting. Not what do you think you should know or what does everybody else want to know, but what do you really want to know about what they just said? Why is that important? Because your subconscious is connected to their subconscious when you're really doing this with attention. If there is a real connection there, then what you want to know next is based on what they just said. Now we're building that mastermind or that connection that is trance. If you bullshit and ask something you don't actually care about, their subconscious knows that and will go off on its own tangent and will disconnect from yours. So we're building and building in order to create that capsule experience or that rapport experience. Milton Erickson is like the great grandfather of hypnosis, and there's a lot to be said about that, which I won't say right now because it's not the right venue. But what was really cool and interesting about him, among other things, was his ability to ask the thing that nobody else would ask. So a lot of the time, our friends and our family and the people we love are right in front of us and we want to ask them, well, X and Y, but we don't because we think, oh, that's politically incorrect or that's too invasive. So the question that nobody else will ask is usually a very hypnotic question. I would say 95% of the time. So we have to build up our courage to go there. So not only being curious, but being really honestly, genuinely curious. The curiosity has to always come off casual. As soon as I get therapeutic about it, it turns off in terms of its power. So we have to stay cool, we have to stay genuine. As Barbara said, you can feel from me indifference, but with warmth. So that's my genuine warmth that I really do have as a person. But also, I'm always going to stay casual because if I get clinical, your subconscious is going to know that I'm messing with it, and that won't work. I'm always respectful without being politically correct. So I am politically correct to the point of, respect and all of those things and democracy. But I do swear, I do like participate in real life because the subconscious does. If I remove all of my real street smarts and just do my PhD version, your subconscious will know that that's not the real me, that that's not the full, complete me. So you can't be in a posture or pretend. You have to be genuine because that's the truth of your subconscious mind. So be detached from the outcome and just observe what's going on. Do not be invested. Investigate the client without judging them. Let the subject lead you. This is very important. In conversations, so often we think I'm the leader because I'm the questioner, right? You guys all think because I'm the one who does the conversational hypnosis, I'm the leader of the conversation. But that's not how it is in my head. In my head, I ask the question and then you say something, you, the client, and based on what you said, I respond to that. So I'm the respondent, even though it seems like you're the respondent. This is where hypnosis becomes beautiful and interesting. And do you see how it's covert, right? Like you often think like, oh, well, hypnosis is behind the scenes, like it's something that's happening to me. It is because in that conversational experience, it feels like I'm leading you in a conversation. Oh, what's the problem? Oh, how is that a problem? Tell me more about it. That's me. But what's really happening is based on everything you say in response, I'm asking my follow-up question. So you're leading the conversation and I'm following you. Do you see how that's a reversal? That's where the pocket of hypnosis lies, right in that pocket, where I surrender my desire to be first and my desire to lead and my desire to help and my desire to solve. And I become really receptive. That's when your subconscious mind emerges. Okay, so again, we're not creating hypnosis, we're allowing hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state of mind. Anything that I ask that breeds or that invites a subconscious response, which I still haven't told you how to read, so I'm going to in a moment. Whatever that is the emergence of trance. If I can pinpoint that and expand it and expand it and expand it and breathe more life into it and breathe more life into it, eventually what happens is what happens to all of my clients is, oh, I feel weird. Oh, something is happening. What the hell is going on? Where did my problem go? So you see what's happening is I'm just breathing life into the hypnosis that they are creating naturally. They're creating it. I'm observing it. As I observe it, I encourage more of it. That's it. I don't feel instrumental in the genesis of the hypnosis. So it's so important to let the client lead. Okay, what does that mean in real life? When you're a mom, you think you're the boss. You think you're the one running the house, right? Okay, you guys do this, you do this. This is what needs to happen next. Does anyone have any questions? But if you're going to do your family life in a hypnotic sense, you're going to stop taking on that role and instead awaken the subconscious mind of the family and of the subject and let them become the leaders and let them become the information source instead of you. So this picture of the kid is super cute because it's like, look at how focused he is on those little whatever they are. They have no meaning inherently. There's nothing really going on here, but he wants to know how to push them through. He wants to know where they're going to go. He wants to find out how they're going to fall. His focus is super, super clear on the thing he's doing. That's how hypnosis is generated. You get really interested on what you yourself want to know. Does that make sense? We're going to do a little experiment with that. Any questions on that so far? So like if somebody comes to you and says, I don't know, your friend says to you, okay, I'm ready to quit smoking, and you want to do a little hypnosis game with them, what are you going to say? You're not going to say to them, well, have you got the anti-chewing gum? Are you going to go on a meditation retreat? Why would you not say those things? Those are natural things to say if you have a friend who has an idea about quitting something. It is natural to ask them stuff like that. But why is that not hypnotic?
You're just offering the solutions yourself.
Right, exactly. And what's the problem for their subconscious mind when you do that?
They think you're going to give the solution or their solution is outside.
Yeah, they think the solution is outside. And what does that do to their subconscious mind?
Lazy.
Yeah, it
And
tells
retreat.
it's not just laziness, it's that it's telling their subconscious mind somebody wants something from you. And because the subconscious is naturally programmed to stay the way it is, to survive, that's another class I can teach you another day about why does the subconscious not want to participate more fully. But the answer is it's a survival mechanism. It wants things the same. So as soon as you offer a solution, it says, "Oh, I don't want that. I want things to stay the same." So you didn't open any possibilities. You just said to it, "Try X," and it said no. Okay, so now where are you going to go from there? Now you're stuck. And that's what happens in life all the time, in family life all the time. Okay, but here are your options X, Y, or Z. And they're like, no, none of the above. And then what do you do next? Okay, so let's say you go to the grocery store. What do you normally say when you're checking out? What's the normal conscious way of going about it?
Nothing, just thank you.
Thank you, right? Okay, let's just pretend that you want to make it into a subconscious experience. I'm more chatty than you are, obviously. But I usually say to them, like, how's the day going? Or, like, I don't know, what about the weather? You usually say something kind of generic. But let's say you want to make it hypnotic. And that's the
Um,
same for parties. We always just talk to people about regular shit that's boring. Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
no, I guess you just ask a weird question.
Yeah, like what?
How many cantaloupes have you sold today?
Perfect. That's so good, Barbara. So why would that create a state of trance, or why would that invite a state of trance? You
It
nailed it.
it
See, you're
it
natural.
takes them aback, like it takes them by surprise. It's like a new pathway suddenly is awoken, I guess. I don't know.
Because when you ask somebody, well, how many cantaloupes have you sold today? Where is that information stored?
The subconscious.
Why would the conscious mind be tracking cantaloupes? It's never tracked cantaloupes before, so it's not. But the lady does know subconsciously how many, or man, how many, or they, how many cantaloupes they sold that day because they sold them. So the subconscious mind does know the answer. It might not know that it knows, but it does.
Mhm.
So you're exactly right, Barbara. Where that question takes the person is into the part of their mind that knows the answer to that. That's why it's a hypnotic question. Exactly.
It
That's,
creates
yeah.
it creates curiosity.
Exactly. Now
And it,
you've created curiosity both ways. Now the person
mm,
standing there is like, well, why'd you ask me that? Right? So now they're hypnotizing you. That's how hypnosis is created. Exactly. Now there's curiosity both ways. Like, oh, that's weird. Why would that person want to know that? Now their
and it's
subconscious
safe,
is, yeah, go ahead.
and it's safe, and you're not attached to the result.
Exactly. Totally no interest in how many cantaloupes there actually was. Nobody cares about that. Neither the person you asked or you. But where you both entered into is now a space that's totally private to the two of you. Like if you actually go do that, some of you are going to go shopping later, try it, and you'll notice, oh, I'm in this intimate space with a stranger right now. I'm in this intimate experience just for the split second. That's
Yeah.
the hypnotic experience right there.
There is no power play, right?
No
It's not
power.
it's not a customer cashier relationship anymore.
Beautiful. Do you see how powerful what he just said was? We take our ego out, we take our idea of who we are and our persona out, and we say, human to human, let's play a game together. Because you have a subconscious mind and so do I. Let's just see what happens when we go there. Think about how lovers do that, right? Lovers do it all the time. Like, oh, we're beyond consciousness. We're beyond the real world. We're into our own world. That's deeply hypnotic. That's the exact same thing the cantaloupe question does. So you nailed it, Barbara. Okay, so then let's just pretend that we're going to create an actual hypnotic experience there. So then the person says back to you, I have no idea. Why do you care about cantaloupes? And then what do you say? Or they just say, I have no idea.
I think we would both laugh.
Exactly. Perfect. And what's that? What's that going to create if you both laugh?
It's a connection.
Yeah, it's a connection. Now we're talking about hypnosis for everyone. Once you have the connection, you are already in that capsule experience. And from there, you can go lots of places. Because now you have just a little bit of trust that you didn't have before. Oh, she's cool. Oh, she's reliable. Oh, she seems like someone I can trust. Now the subconscious is going to emerge a little bit. It's going to step forward and be like, maybe I will participate with you. Do you see how that works? So the laughter is an unconscious moment. Remember I said before I'm going to explain to you what unconscious moments are? So now we're getting to that. I'm always looking for an unconscious moment in the client. That's what I always want. When they laugh and feel casual, their subconscious mind is going to allow me a little more entry. What about, sorry?
The defenses go down.
Exactly. The defenses
And
go down. Go ahead.
Prefrontal cortex gets attached.
Exactly.
Now I'm mimicking your body language.
Exactly. And as soon as the mimicking starts, then then we're creating hypnosis together. As soon as we start to imitate each other, we're both in that same field together. And that's all that happens is we enter into that field and the field creates possibilities in itself. How do we capitalize on that? So now we got a subconscious moment out of somebody from asking a curious question. How do we build on it instead of lose it? Because you could say to her, like, okay, did my credit card work? Will that create another subconscious moment?
No.
No, because then you're going to be right back into the real world. She's going to type into her thing or he's going to type into his thing and blah, 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 nothing exciting. But let's say you want to capitalize on it and make more subconsciousness. Then what? What would you say? Laugh? Huh?
You keep building. First, it has to be safe. It has to be curiosity.
That's right. So build on the curiosity now. So you're both laughing. You're at the thing. You did the cantaloupe. You're both laughing. So now build the curiosity. What would you say?
I would say, sorry.
Go ahead, Barb. I want to hear
it. I would say, so I ate 18 so far this year.
Okay, right. And put it in a question so that you have a reciprocity instead of a statement. Always ask a question. You notice that I always ask questions? I never really make statements.
Yeah.
I always ask questions in my process. So put it into a question, either Juan or Barbara.
Yeah. For me, it's also play with the silence and the moment.
Yes.
So, that's interesting. So create more space.
Beautiful.
For uncontrolled next lines.
Yeah. In a clinical setting, the silence is super powerful. In a party or whatever, it's a little less so because then they become suspicious of you. So in a clinical setting where silence is expected, I think yes. If you're at a party or you're at the grocery store and you allow silence, it really invites them to go either way. So
Yeah,
try a next question that's curious.
yeah, like and that like create wonder, right?
So what would you ask? Let's just pretend we're doing it for real. What would you next ask?
So so you don't know how many cantaloupes, so how many you think people bought today? So I don't know. Let's go pull that string, right? Or what do you remember you saw? So
Yeah, you could ask
try,
them, what's the last cantaloupe you remember? That would be a
yeah.
decent question. Anyone else?
I would just ask her what's her favorite fruit from then
Yeah, I
on.
agree. I was thinking, do you like cantaloupes?
Yeah.
What I was also thinking, like, how many do you think is the most number that gets sold in a day? Who's the last person who bought one? What do you think they were going to do with it? All of these questions create this kind of mystery, like, I don't know the answer, but let me check my mind. Let me check on that. Do I remember the last person who bought a cantaloupe? What do I think they were doing with it? Were they going to a party? Were they going to eat it for breakfast? It's totally irrelevant what happens, but what's interesting about it is where the person went, that they went to their subconscious mind. Does that make sense?
It's interesting because if you ask them, do you like cantaloupes? It sort of brings a lot of attention to them. But if you had said, well, then, have you been tracking the watermelons? To me, that doesn't have the same effect.
Okay, and so how do you decide which of those is the more hypnotic direction?
The one that you or the other person doesn't have the answer.
Yeah, but you could that still creates strategy where I would have to know. So I don't assume that I know. I never assume that I know the answer. So it has to be a little simpler than
Well,
that.
one feels neutral and one feels more engaged in those two questions for me.
Which one is more engaged?
Right. Well, what do you like, do you like the cantaloupes?
Yeah. So which one would you ask to keep the
That
bill?
one.
Exactly.
That one. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly right, Barb. So the question is not what do I want from this answer? What do I expect them to say? But what do I feel curious about? What do I think would be interesting to know next?